Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Garden. I'm Jeremy, February 16, 2023. Now, I kind of shared two videos that I made, the 14th when I took off to go and pick up a trailer. And then later on in the day when I went to pick up the trailer. And yeah, so this is the follow-up to those videos. And a kind of a quick rundown and all that stuff. So, I figured that I would be taking a little jaunt and to go pick up a trailer. Looked pretty decent, sounded decent, all that type of stuff. Money seemed good. So, yeah, anyways, took off and of course snowing. Well, okay, so... yeah, so that's in that other video. There's some snow. Well, driving down along the way, a couple of things happened. First of all, I noticed that my wiper wash fluid is not working. Now, it's not, there's a rooster crowing out here outside, so that might be in the background. But the wiper wash fluid wasn't working. And of course, it's kind of got some slush on the road, which means that every time you pass somebody or somebody passes you, the windshield wipe just gets sprayed with dirty water, which of course isn't like rain. It's not clean water, so it doesn't just wipe right off. It smudges right off. And so, yeah, that was a thing, but if you turned it up really high, it did a pretty good job at keeping the dirt, like taking the dirt off real quick. So that was the thing. But, it gets better. I'm getting there, I'm almost there, right? And then all of a sudden, 70 miles an hour down Freeway 84, Interstate 84. And all of a sudden I lose power. And then I'm dropping down to 65, I'm dropping down to 60, I'm stepping on the gas and it's going slower and slower. And thankfully, there was an exit right there, so I immediately just took the exit. It's like, doesn't matter where it goes, I'm getting off the freeway. If I'm going to come to a complete stop, I'm getting off the freeway. So, anyways, so I go down, and there happens to be one little tiny gas station and one little tiny ma and pa, like little restaurant, little cafe. And so I barely managed to get the truck to roll at a very, very slow pace into the parking lot and all that. Thankfully, it wasn't on a big like incline or something like that to go up to get into the area. So I pull in and all that stuff, and it's like every time I hit the gas, the engine just bogs down. And it's like it runs fine, but it sounds just a little bit off, but it's not like missing or doing anything like that. There's no dashboard lights whatsoever. There's just no power. And when you stomp on the gas really hard, it makes like little popping noise, in the exhaust. So, of course, one possibility that was, after talking to some people and all that stuff, it was like, well, it could be like clogged fuel filter, could be a clogged catalytic converter. I mean, the truck is like 27 years old now, so 27? It's close to, it's old. So, yeah. So what that meant was I'm just stuck. I'm stranded, and so I'm trying to figure out the town in the direction, next town over that is in the direction of where I'm trying to go to pick up this trailer, is the mechanic shops that were there. None of them would be able to get me in. So, like, okay, so there's only one town next that's closest, and that's actually in the reverse direction, the direction I literally just came from. And that was my next closest option. And thankfully, one of the shops was able to get me in. So they were like, well, technically, I mean, we're full up right now, but it's all local work. So, we'll squeeze you in. We got a couple cars in the shop. We'll get one of these cars out of the garage and get you in as soon as we possibly can. So, awesome. Okay. They're like, at least if nothing else, we'll try to diagnose your problem today and all that. So, okay. So now I got to call a tow truck. So I call a tow truck, and of course, they're about a half hour out, and it's an hour drive anyways on top of that. So about an hour and a half later, I was finally able to get my truck onto a tow truck, and then off on the hour drive back towards La Grande, Oregon. And yeah, super fun. So they take me to the place and drop me off and all that type of stuff. And they're like, well, let's see, it looks like it's going to be about another hour and a half before we can get this other vehicle out of the garage, before we can even get yours on and try to diagnose it. So at this point in time, we're, it's afternoon, and it's like, okay, there's a good chance that I probably am not going to get fixed today. But either way, I don't want to drive at night. I try to avoid driving at night as much as possible. And, so now I'm calling around looking for a pet-friendly motel, because I do have my puppy, my poodle Gigi. I call her a puppy. She's a mini poodle, and she's almost 20 years old. So, but she's still a puppy to me. So, anyway, so I then am. So I find a place that's pet friendly, and they're like, well, check-in's not until 4:00, and this is still like a couple hours away. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, shoot, well, okay. And I was like, I'm down at the automotive place, stuff, my truck broke down and stuff. And they're like, well, hold on a second. And a couple minutes later, the person I was talking to was like, actually, there is one room that is ready already, so you can go ahead and come in, and we'll just let you check in early. And it was like, yay, awesome, okay. So, and then the nice people at the automotive place were also like, okay, yeah, we can totally give you a ride there and all that, and then we can come pick you up, when the truck's done. So it was like, oh, sweet, okay, that's awesome. So they haul me over to the hotel. I make the reservation on the phone. They haul me over there. I go check in, and now I'm able to sit with Gigi and, have some pepperonis and some water and, a little bit of food that I brought. And, so now at least we got a place to stay, and we're probably going to be there overnight anyways. But now we're warm, we got a bed, and some entertainment on the television. So basically just sat there and watched Animal Planet and waited for them to call. The place closed at 6, and a little bit before 6 o'clock for the automotive place, they were like, okay, so we did finally figure out the diagnosis, what the problem is, and it's actually a part that the local part shops A, first of all, is closed already, but also B, they don't have it listed as being in stock in their inventory on their online, access portal page. And they can, but we could order it, but it'll take a couple of days. I was like, okay. So, this is not good, because a couple of days, if they order it on 15th, will then be like the 17th. So, we're talking like Friday, and, that's depending on when the shipment comes. If the order shipment doesn't come until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I might be stuck there until Saturday, because, unless I decide to drive at night. But it's also one of those things where, the car just come out of the shop. If I'm going to break down again, I want it to be during the daytime, not during the night. So, which is one of the reasons why I don't like driving at night to begin with, is if you break down, now you're dealing with everything in the dark. So, anyways, and cold because of this time of year. So, I know, it's kind of a long story, and I apologize, but I'm trying to sum it up as fast as I can, but give you as much information as I can, because it's interesting and all that. So, let's see, where was I? Yes. Okay, so they're like, well, but I think I have an idea, so, we'll see. We'll get back to you in the morning. So, okay. So, I just wait and stuff like that, and checkout is at 11 o'clock and all that type of stuff, and by 10 o'clock, it's starting to get really close, and they call and they're like, okay, so we figured out a way to fix it, and, without the actual part, we can get you repaired and down the road and all that. So it's like, okay. So, anyway, so what they, I'm like, but they're like, it's still going to be, a couple of hours before it gets fixed. So, because they're going to have to go down to the hardware store, buy a thing, and then do some fabrication to basically get me on the road. So it's going to take a couple of hours, which is going to put me past my overall checkout time for the motel. So I talked to them and all that, and they were like, well, what, if you check out a little bit, if you do check out today and stuff, like before 4 or whatever and stuff, we just won't charge you, that type of deal. But so I went ahead and just reserved it, and for the next night, in case for some reason it was the fix that they had in mind ended up not actually working. So anyways, it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were like, okay, so good news, we got you patched up and everything seems to be running fine. So yeah. I know. So at this point, I now have to make a decision, like a final hard decision, about, am I going to go and pick up this trailer or not? Because now I've also just added another additional hour of drive time to my drive, because I just got towed back. So, so I decide, okay, so for the moment, I know that there is the issue with my windshield wiper and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what, I just don't feel comfortable going and getting this thing. Wherever I go, I'm not going to feel comfortable towing it, because I will end up towing it at nighttime. So I'm going to have to find some place to stop and all that type of stuff, because, I don't know anything about this trailer. I don't want to be getting a flat tire on it in the middle of the night, especially at nighttime, because I might not notice it right away. And I don't want it to be the first time that I realize that it has a flat tire when I see sparks flying behind me, because the rim is on the pavement. So I just decided I need to go home and get a couple of the minor, take care of the wiper fluid thing and just kind of get some more ducks in a row and kind of go to the mechanic and kind of have them do a full diagnostic on my truck and tell me how, a closer approximation of how my truck is going to perform and all that, because I'm going to be driving 3,000 miles across the country. So, towing a trailer and my belongings, any belongings that I can fit. So, I'm like, yay, okay, I'm really, really sorry here, but if you get an offer, go ahead and sell it in a week or two. If it's still available and all my ducks are in a row, then I will come down and I will get it, because I'm going to also be heading off that way to go and visit my parents. So, it's a little bit of a detour to go and see my parents. However, if such is the case, then cool. We'll go ahead and do that. And if it's not available, then I'll just have to figure something else out. And so yesterday, the 15th, I hauled home, and got here before it got dark, about a half hour before it started to get dark. And I was just exhausted. I mean, I didn't do anything, but just the whole thing, I was exhausted. So I didn't really get much packing done. And I went to bed early. I went to bed, it was like 8 o'clock and my head was on the pillow. I finally went to bed probably about 9:30 or 10, but my head was on the pillow and I was done. So I just needed a rest. And Gigi, of course, was more than happy to accompany me in a little nap and rest, because she was kind of wondering what was going on as well. So yeah. Yeah. So all fun, huh? Fun and games. So yeah, I felt really bad telling that person that I'm not going to come and pick it up. And now today, because I'm trying to get out of here and I'm basically 2 days behind, because I was planning on being back Tuesday and being able to do some refined packing and then spend all day on the 15th finishing up that fine packing and then loading it up and taking over to my temporary home. But that didn't happen. So I lost the 14th and the 15th. So I'm now 2 days behind. So I have taken 2 loads over there already today here on the 16th, and taken them over there, and yeah. Whew. But I'm not fine packing stuff. I'm just loading it up and taking it over there, and then I'm gonna have to spend the next few days going through it and then doing the fine packing. And at the same time, there's a few other items here that I'm like, you know what? Actually, I don't think I'm gonna bring those. So I will go through and finish the fine packing, and if things still look like it's okay to bring them, then I'll bring them, and if not, then I'll figure out some way to get rid of them. So I gotta get a little scoop of water here from my cooler. And yep, so my plans are a little bit on hold. And I'm just hoping that today I can get everything out, but I have a feeling that I'll be coming back tomorrow to get a few things. But last night, I think was my last night here. I might hold out and make one more night and stay here. And then that way I'm just here when I wake up in the morning. I can just go and pack the last of it up and head out and say goodbye. Yeah. Okay, well, that was a long video. I know. It was kind of a long story, but there was a lot of stuff that, you know. Anyway, so click like, hit subscribe, and yeah, stay tuned, stay watching. There's also a Patreon link in there I'll add to this, and yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeremy. Till next.